I'm Terry Kessler Schwarz, a teaching artist. Welcome everybody to ArtsWestchester's virtual workshops. Today we will be learning the art of calligraphy, or beautiful writing. The alphabet we will use is called Uncial, and it was created during King Arthur's time in 5th century England. The supplies that we will use today: a 12-inch ruler, a sharpened pencil, an eraser, tape, a black marker, and to do our letters, we're going to be using a special pen called a calligraphy marking pen. The one I'm using is a 3.5 size, which gives us very good letters. The other thing that we will use, sheets of white copy paper. So to start, I wanted to just show you the quill that I have, and I made this myself. I cut off the end, and this was used during the Middle Ages in King Arthur's time to create letters. Today, a professional calligrapher uses either a marking pen like I showed you, or a dip pen, and it's called a nib. The point is a nib, and we use inks. And here I put them in a little container with some water. So if you prefer using ink, by all means do it. If you don't have those two pens, the marker pen or the dip pen, you can also use two pencils of the same height, sharpened and with two elastic bands around them. So we're going to start now lining our paper. That's the first step in doing calligraphy. We are going to be ruling lines on the piece of paper. Hold it like this, landscape size. Open your pen and look at the point or the nib, and you can see that it's very flat. This alphabet we're going to be learning today, called Uncial, is 5 pen widths. This is a width. One of those is a width. So we're going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right side. Starting from the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we have our first measurement. You've got to use your pencil and the ruler, and you're going to measure. And it looks like it's almost 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to put my pencil mark right there, and another one on this side from the edge. And we're going to draw a line. Okay. And then we're going to measure going all the way down the paper, 3/4 of an inch. So I'm only going to do a little bit, but you're going to go all the way down and finish ruling the lines. And I like to do black lines over. Okay. Here we go. And you're going to go all the way down and finish the paper. So the height of our letters is going to be this height, 3/4 of an inch. The first thing we have to think about is if you're a righty or a lefty, because we use different ways to hold the paper. If you are a righty, we're going to have it straight ahead of us, flat. If you're a lefty, we're going to turn the paper over to this side. And I don't know how much slant a lefty needs. Everyone is different. So if you're a lefty, you can do it where you feel comfortable. So I'm a righty, and I'm going to take 4 pieces of tape and just tape the corners down so it doesn't move. And we keep the paper very straight right ahead of us. And now we're ready to start lettering. In order to start, we're going to draw a square with our marking pen. And we're going to draw a line, a diagonal line that goes up, not quite to the center. And that's a 30-degree angle right here. So there's math involved in calligraphy. Then we're going to take our calligraphy pen and we're going to hold it just about up here. And we're going to look at this nib and place it right down, and you're going to hold it not too tight, just down here, and get the whole nib on that line, and then gently drag it up to the top here, and then on that angle, keep the pen angle, it's called, bring it down. It's push and then pull, push and then pull. These are our first marks, and you can see we're almost making a fence, it looks like. I'm not moving my hand, I'm just moving the pen. You'll see, I'm just going to the side, and try to keep it as even as you can. This space and then this space, and we're going to bring it down. So you can keep on going, and you're going to finish going until you get to the end of the paper on this line. So that's our first stroke, it's called in calligraphy, stroke, thick and thin lines. We're going to skip a space and come down here, and we're going to draw our box again. And that angle, just a little bit, not quite to the middle of this straight line. And that's our 30-degree slant, because this is how we get the thick and thin lines in calligraphy, in uncial calligraphy. And we're going to come across and come down and come up just a little bit, a little tail, and see if you can guess what letter that is. That's an I. Now we're going to make a J, and it comes down and just a little bit below the line. It's called a descender when it goes below the line. And the F is just like the beginning of the J there. And we're going to come across like this, and then we're going to cross it like that. And this is called a 3-stroke letter. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to make the R, just like the J, a little bit shorter than the J. And then we're going to come up here and come around, don't touch it, and then come out. The L is an ascender, comes above that line, just a little bit straight down, and then out to the side, and then it has a little tail, and then we get that by using just that tiny little edge. Got to turn your pen and go like that. The K, get back to that 30 degrees, is above the line, just like the L, and then we're going to come over here and come around like that. Okay, we're going to do the H above the line, just like the K, and then we're going to go back up and come around. It's pretty wide. So we wind up, it's a little thinner here. It's a very elegant line. The T is just coming down like that, and then it's got a little tail, and we're going to come out to the side, that 30 degree, and we're going to make a wave and bring it out. The N, 30 degrees, bring that down, get that whole nib down, and a little bit below the line, a little descender, and then ascender above the line, like that. Now we have to join it. So we're going to come up here and come around and just like that, not quite to the bottom. So it's a little bit of a wavy line. So this is 3 strokes, 1, 2, and then 3. Now we're going to make the B. that 30-degree angle, come down and come out just a little bit. Go back up, almost to the center, and that's it. Okay, the next group are the real rounded letters. So we're going to start with the C, that 30 degrees again. And if you need to make your box with that angle line, you can do it. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm just going to show you the letters. That's the C. So that's one stroke and then two. This is the E, one stroke, two strokes like the C, and then a very flat line. So you have to take your pen and make that nib go flat and just bring it out. Now we're going to do the G. One, two, and then three. Now we're going to do the O, very wide. And I'm going to show you this in two steps so you can see, because it looks like a half moon. And then we're going to go back here and we're going to come up here and then we're going to join it. So it's really thin there and it's thin there. One stroke and then two. The D is really a unique letter. It's so much fun. Like the O, then we're going to come all the way up here and bring it over. So I'm going to show you that one more time. These two letters need a little bit of attention. And I'm going to bring it up here. And I just drew that dotted line to show you that it's almost like you could put it in a box. You see? Now this is the P, 30 degrees, and bring it down like the J. Go back up here and bring it around almost like the H, and then three, join it. That's your last stroke. The Q is just the opposite. It looks like a mirror image almost. And then this way, and then this way. So it's 1, 2, 3. The U has a little wavy line. Get that 30 degrees, a little wavy line first, and then come down and across. And now up here, just like the I, that's it. Okay, we're gonna make a W now. Little wavy line like the U, but a little fatter. And then in the, like the I a bit, but bring it around. 30 degrees up here and bring it in. And this should be equal to that. This white space here should be equal to that. Now we're gonna make an M. Start up here, bring it down. M. Okay. Now our other group of letters, we got the V. That's the first stroke and then the second stroke. It's a beautiful letter. And the A uses that same diagonal stroke. Beautiful. But then you come in the center and you're gonna bring it in like that. It's kind of a different looking A, isn't it? The X has that same stroke. And then we're going to come up here. Just look at this to get up there. And then come and go like that. So it goes a little bit below the line, and that's called a descender. The Y, that same diagonal it's called. And then come around, wavy line. The Z, a wavy line. And then a little bit thinner, and then that nib is really down there to get the full width. Our last letter, S, get that 30 degrees. You're gonna come around like that. I'm gonna make this in 2 strokes here so you can see. 1, 2, 3. So it looks like a little snake. And those are our letters. This is the lettering that we have done today. Now you can see how it's spelled. And I'm going to put a little tail on the end to make it a little bit more fancy. The next thing I want to show you is lettering with a real calligraphy nib, a dip pen. Where you have to dip it in ink. And it looks a little different. You can actually see very thin lines with this, much thinner than the marking pen. The other thing I wanted to show you was lettering with the 2 pencils put together. So you can see, I'm going to do it on 2 lines though, 2 spaces, 1 space in one, because this is much bigger. And you can see how it looks very 3-dimensional. These are the letters of the alphabet we just did, and I hope you had fun. It takes a lot of practice, but with some work, I'm sure your letters are going to come out just fantastic. I wanted to show you a couple of things that I've done. This is a quote done on fancy paper. I use this fancy paper that I actually made myself, and I use the pencil and the ruler to rule the lines on the paper, and then use the white eraser to erase the lines after I was finished. The other thing I did is a bookmark, so you could have fun making those for yourself or friends. And you can write on fancy papers, or you can use just copy paper in different colors. There's also something called calligraphy parchment paper, which you can buy in pad in the store. And this is a lot of fun. This comes in colors too. I have the yellow one, and it looks like old-fashioned paper. It's really fun. So if you like this virtual art workshop, please visit artsw.org. Thanks, and have fun doing calligraphy.